here. So welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate on KCAA Radio out of Redlands, 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, and 1050 AM, as well as KCAAradio.com.
Recording in progress.
We're back, Alec. Welcome. And so we kind of got through how we got here. So now we know that things are changing fast. You know, interest rates went up. The market didn't respond right away. And, what was it, about a 3-month lag?
Yeah, waited for me to put one on the market. So
yeah, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it seems like everybody kind of got locked in who could, and then the music stopped. About what, month and a half after that?
Sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right.
Seems about right. Yeah. Okay. So what does that mean for you right now?
Yeah, we can go over that. This one I put on the market about 2 weeks ago. So nicely redone house, real standard 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, everything you wanted other than a location issue. The house backed up against the freeway.
That's one of those things.
It's one of those things that a month ago probably
didn't matter at all.
Wouldn't have hurt me, as much. So we got some good response the first week, a lot of showings, but they showed up, and I think it just wasn't right for everyone. We do have an offer at what I thought I wrote it up as, and I can be, if anything, conservative.
Yep.
So when I wrote this up, I figured it'd be the sale price would be north of the price I ended up with, but and I think that's probably those rates climbing created this threshold that now there's maybe just a couple more options for someone else, and then I'm option 2 or 3, and there you go. So usually we'd be multiple offers in the first week. I've discussed.
Yeah, that first weekend was always hot. Yeah.
Yeah, had great luck. So offer came in a little later. We've been on the market maybe a week and a half, close to 2 weeks now. So decent offer at about what it kind of should be on the comps versus let's pull something out of that number for button up against the freeway, and you get more freeway noise. So, and that's fine, but yes, the market's shifting for sure. I don't know how much versus if that house was around the corner, because I don't have one around the corner. But definitely feeling that shift now for sure. So
that pressure is on.
Yeah, and I think
folks are buying on payment, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and they just got 1 or 2 more options with that payment bumping up. It pushed a couple of other buyers maybe out of the way, and and they're absorbing those houses that are around the corner, and not backing up to something, or maybe they a different problem. They just have 1 bath, which is something family neighborhood is going to be an issue kind of thing.
Sure.
So yeah, I guess it's for right now, if the rates don't go back at all, which is a whole nother conversation, we need to pay, as an investor, need to pay more attention to those scenarios and your risk and reward on whether you want to go forward with a project like that. And if you do, maybe offer a little less to compensate for where you're going to end up. So definitely a delicate balance, if you want to buy a property, because you can't make any money unless you buy a property. So it's that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you definitely make it when you buy. I mean, as much as that's a sarcastic statement to a lot of people, that is extremely true.
That's extremely true. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can't make it up later. That's for sure. That check is written.
Right.
Wow. So what are the other things that mean the most in this market? Back it up against a freeway, maybe small backyards or a steep driveway. What are some of the other things that are really, you got to watch for that make a property not the one, but in the right neighborhood?
Yeah, I think we nailed everything on this one. It's got a great floor plan. We opened up a wall from the the kitchen to the living room with everyone wants an open concept. They want the thing done to the nines. This particular property is in El Cajon. It's got air conditioning, whether
Big
they
deal out
want it
there.
or not. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely an option. So we nailed it on everything other than the location, which unfortunately I couldn't do too much about.
Right.
And when I bought it, it wasn't an issue. I mean, it was
Yeah.
an issue, but it wasn't
Right.
as much of an issue. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know how much the market shifting on the interest rates alone. I gotta imagine it's gotta have some impact on it, but
It's got to be the majority of it at this point, I would think.
yeah, oh no, for sure. And again, for my situation, I had everything nailed, but the location in it, but it's just going to push that buyer pool. It's going to shrink it,
Right.
and
People who can afford to pay that amount are less, so they're being choosy because they can. And
right.
classic market dynamic.
Yeah,
Right.
a month ago, there would
Mhm.
be a lot more, payment driven. So there would have been a lot more buyers, even with the highway in the backyard.
Yeah.
So I would have maybe got more money for it.
Maybe. Yeah.
Supply and demand and more buyers, competition, price goes up. So just
Yeah.
easy math.
So
Yeah.
we had something a little bit like this in 2018. Kind of things were kind of flat there for about 6 months, latter half of the year, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah,
Um,
18. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Were you getting the same kind of a feel? Was it kind of a buyers getting more selective? Not as not more properties than buyers, kind of, or trending that way.
sure. Yeah. And
So
you're going to feel a little pushback for sure. Yeah,
was
very,
that
very,
kind of the
very
same thing?
similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
very similar. I mean, it's again, it's like market dynamics 101. It's like, more people you have chasing that same product, the higher the
Yeah.
price is going to go. And that leverage works both ways.
Right.
So less people are interested in that particular property, the price is gonna fall for sure. So yeah, very simple, probably different reasons
Different
for
reason, but it felt the
yeah,
same. Yeah, the same thing
yeah,
started to matter more. Yeah,
right.
I was super happy to unload the one I was working on then in January, January 6th. Boy, what a day that was.
Yeah,
That one on right at the base of Mount Helix there.
yeah,
Couldn't be happier to get rid of that one at that point, and then only to see the later in the year that market doing that. I was so happy to not be in it.
right, yeah.
Man,
So, and
all right.
that's again, that's the nice thing about not carrying that many, is that you can shift pretty quick, because we're not talking like the stock market where things can be evaporate in a minute.
Right.
We pay attention to what's going on with the market, talk to enough people in your field, and you're going to get a sense on what's happening. If you're paying attention, you can make shifts. Like this one in particular, I'm going to make less than I figured I'd make. I
Yeah.
take that versus
Been taking the
something.
risky property that might not move. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
it was
Yeah,
about 3 weeks ago when I was prospecting. I started seeing properties sitting. The folks, the wholesalers, people who try to find properties for us to fix up. Were starting to call me, and they weren't out doing that. They had everything pre-sold. 3 times
sure.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it felt like it happened really quick.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, yeah, it didn't take more than a month
Yeah.
for yeah, wholesalers calling me, hey, we haven't heard from you, or just checking in, when before it was crickets, and
Yep.
their list went from 2 or 3 properties to 15,
Right.
like, and it's like, and they were using the Zillow excuse, oh, we can't find labor to fix them all up. It's like, yeah, well, I'm not sure that's
Yeah, I'm not buying that. Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not buying that.
I
So
mean, one in particular that'll remain nameless, I know is doing hundreds and hundreds a year in San Diego, is got people, or excuse me, properties they're trying to give them away. They got a ton of stuff under contract, and they'd be very eager if I was interested.
yeah, I know
That's a huge shift.
what's going to happen to those homeowners that had to move. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of them are just doing it because they want to cash out at the top of the market. But you know, that's the tough part of it. Someone's life getting impacted like that. And,
that is unfortunate. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, especially
So
for the individual homeowner, it matters so much more. I hope folks are paying attention and
right.
do their homework. That's, I mean, Wow, that's
Yeah.
intense. So, uh, this year, I mean, what are you doing now? So what's changing? How you approach the next one?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, the net, this was a nice little lesson, this one, and it's just going to be um, pay attention to the things I can control. So I
Hmm.
can make the bathroom super nice. I can maybe adjust the floor plan. I'm going to stay away from something that's got, a location problem like this
Sure.
one had.
Hmm.
And I think the taking a smaller deal that has less downside. So take a deal that maybe doesn't have as much, profit in it, but I won't be in a position like I'm in now where I thought I was going to make X, and it's probably. I think that month, if we called
Hmm.
it a month that I
Yeah,
didn't get it to market, I
that's
think
about what it was. Yeah, almost exactly.
I think it cost me 20 grand. I think
Oh, wow.
all day long. So
Wow.
instead of like taking a chance on a flyer that's up against the freeway or some other kind of inherent problem underneath a high tension wire, something like that, I'd rather just go chase the kind of safer nickel, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
than taking a chance on making more on that. So right now, market gets back to frothy, then I would do this again, for sure.
Hmm.
The same property. It's
Yeah.
just that what environment are you in? So that's where
So just keep a really close eye on
yeah,
what's happening and feel
for
those
sure.
market pressures, watch those rates, see what that does to
Yep.
payment
Yeah.
and total properties for sale. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.